Albanian is an Indo-European language spoken by 5 million people, primarily in Albania, Kosovo, the Republic of Macedonia, and Greece, but also in other areas of southeastern Europe in which there is an Albanian population, including Montenegro and the Preševo Valley of Serbia. Centuries-old communities speaking Albanian-based dialects can be found scattered in Greece, southern Italy, Sicily, and Ukraine. As a result of a modern diaspora, there are also Albanian speakers elsewhere in those countries as well as in other parts of the world, including Austria, Germany, Hungary, the Netherlands, the Scandinavian countries, Switzerland, the United Kingdom, Brazil, Canada, the United States, Australia, New Zealand, Singapore, and Turkey. History. The first written mention of the Albanian language was on 14 July 1285 in Dubrovnik, when a certain Matthew, witness of a crime, stated, "I heard a voice shouting on the mountainside in the Albanian tongue." The first audio recording of Albanian was made by Norbert Jokel on 4 April 1914 in Vienna. During the 5-century period of the Ottoman presence in Albania, the language was not officially recognized until 1909, when the Congress of Dibra decided that Albanian schools would finally be allowed. Linguistic affinities. The Albanian language is an Indo-European language in a branch by itself, sharing its branch with no other extant language. The other extant Indo-European languages in a branch by themselves are Armenian and, in some classifications, Greek, though sharing lexical isoglosses with Greek, Balto-Slavic, and Germanic. The vocabulary of Albanian is quite distinct. Once hastily grouped with Germanic and Balto-Slavic based on the merger of Proto-Indo-European **o and ** into ** in the supposed northern group, Albanian has been proven to be distinct from these two because this vowel shift is only part of a larger push chain that affected all long vowels. Albanian does share two features with Balto-Slavic languages: a lengthening of syllabic consonants before voiced obstruents and a distinct treatment of long syllables ending in a sonorant. Conservative features of Albanian include the retention of the distinction between active and middle voice, present tense, and aorist. Albanian is considered to have evolved from an ancient Paleo-Balkan language, usually taken to be either Illyrian or Thracian, but this is debated. Linguistic influences. The earliest loanwords attested in Albanian come from Doric Greek, whereas the strongest influence came from Latin. The period during which Proto-Albanian and Latin interacted was protracted and drawn out roughly from the 2nd century BCE to the 5th century CE. This is borne out into roughly 3 layers of borrowings, the largest number belonging to the second layer. The first, with the fewest borrowings, was a time of less important interaction. The final period, probably preceding the Slavic or Germanic invasions, also has a notably smaller number of borrowings. Each layer is characterized by a different treatment of most vowels, the first layer having several that follow the evolution of early Proto-Albanian into Albanian. Later layers reflect vowel changes endemic to late Latin and presumably Proto-Romance. Other formative changes include the syncretism of several noun case endings, especially in the plural, as well as a large-scale palatalization. A brief period followed, between the 7th and 9th centuries CE, that was marked by heavy borrowings from Southern Slavic, some of which predate the OA shift common to the modern forms of this language group. Starting in the latter 9th century CE, there was a period characterized by protracted contact with the Proto-Romanians, or Vlachs, though lexical borrowing seems to have been mostly one-sided, from Albanian into Romanian. Such borrowing indicates that the Romanians migrated from an area where the majority was Slavic to an area with a majority of Albanian speakers. Their movement is probably related to the expansion of the Bulgarian Empire into Albania around that time. Latin influence. Junj Kopitar was the first to note Latin's influence on Albanian and claimed the Latin loanwords in the Albanian language had the pronunciation of the time of Emperor Augustus. Kopitar gave examples such as Albanian, Kikar, from Latin Cissa, Kitit, from Civitas, Pesh, from Piscis, and Shigjeta, from Sagitta. The hard pronunciations of Latin C and G are retained as palatal and velar stops in the Albanian loanwords. Gustav Meyer and Wilhelm Meyer-Lubka later corroborated this. Meyer noted the similarity between the Albanian verbs shkipoj and shkitoj and the Latin word excipio. Therefore, he believed that the word shkitar was derived from shkipoj, which in turn was derived from the Latin word excipio. Johann Georg von Hahn, an Austrian linguist, previously proposed the same theory in 1854. Ikram Cabbage also noticed, among other things, the archaic Latin elements in Albanian. Latin o becomes Albanian in the earliest borrowings. Aurum greater than r, gaudium greater than gas, loris greater than la, but Latin o is retained in later borrowings. Causa greater than kafsha, lord greater than lavd. Latin o becomes Albanian e in the oldest Latin borrowings. Pomum greater than pima, hora greater than here. An analogous mutation occurred from Proto-Indo-European to Albanian. Pi*nose became Albanian. Ni. Pi*octo plus suffix t became Albanian. Tet, etc. Latin unstressed internal and initial syllables become lost in Albanian. Cubitus greater than cube, medicus greater than mjek, paludum greater than v. Latin padule greater than pill. An analogous mutation occurred from Proto-Indo-European to Albanian. In contrast, in later Latin borrowings, the internal syllable is retained. Paganus greater than pagan, plaga greater than plage, etc. Latin tj, dj, kj, palatalized to Albanian per second, z, c. Vicious greater than v's, ratio greater than rsi, radius greater than rreze, faces greater than fact, socius greater than shoq, etc. Haralambie Mihescu demonstrated that some 85 Latin words have survived in Albanian but not in any Romance language. A few examples include bubulcus greater than bujk, hibernalia greater than marriage, sarcinarius greater than shelkera, trificus greater than turfurk, accipita greater than skifta, muscany greater than mushkonj, cherzidrus greater than kusida, spleneticum greater than shiprika, solanum greater than shulla. 151 Albanian words of Latin origin were not inherited in Romanian. A few examples include Albanian mic from Latin amicus, or armic from animicus, arsi from ration bekoj from benedicera, quelq from calix, keshtiel from castellum, quind from centum, gjel from gallus, gumtia from iunctura, mjek from medicus, rargeta from reti, shrisoj from spirare, vonit from voluntas. Some Albanian church terminology have phonetic features which demonstrate their very early borrowing from Latin. A few examples include Albanian altar from Latin altar, angel from angelus, bekoj from benedicera, Christeri from Christianis, kryq from crux, Kish from Ecclesia, Ipeshkv from Episcopus, Ungil from Evangelium, Malkoj from Maledicera, Mesha from Missa, Merg from Monachus, Pagan from Paganus. Other authors have detected Latin loan words in Albanian with an ancient sound pattern from the 1st century BCE. For example, Albanian cingula from Latin singular and Albanian evigeta from Latin vetus, veterus. The Romance languages inherited these words from Vulgar Latin. Vulgar * singular became N. Romanian chinga, meaning belly band, saddle girth, and Vulgar veteran became N. Romanian batran, meaning old. Albanian, Basque, and the surviving Celtic languages such as Irish and Welsh are the non-Romance languages today that have this sort of extensive Latin element dating from ancient Roman times, which have undergone the sound changes associated with the languages. Historical presence and location. The place where the Albanian language was formed is uncertain, but analysis has suggested that it was in a mountainous region rather than on a plain or seacoast. While the words for plants and animals characteristic of mountainous regions are entirely original, the names for fish and for agricultural activities are borrowed from other languages. A deeper analysis of the vocabulary, however, shows that this could be a consequence of the prolonged Latin domination of the coastal and plain areas of the country, rather than evidence of the original environment where the Albanian language was formed. For example, the word for fish is borrowed from Latin, but not the word for gills, which is native. Indigenous are also the words for ship, raft, and navigation, seashells, and a few names of fish kinds, but not the words for sail, row, harbor, objects pertaining navigation itself, and a large part of sea fauna. This rather shows that Proto-Albanians were pushed away from coastal areas in early times, thus losing large parts of sea environment lexicon. A similar phenomenon could be observed with agricultural terms. While the words for arable land, corn, wheat, cereals, vineyard, joke, harvesting, cattle breeding, etc., are native, the words for ploughing, farm, and farmer, agricultural practices, and some harvesting tools are foreign. This, again, points to intense contacts with other languages and people, rather than providing evidence of a possible Heimat. The center of Albanian settlement remained the Mat River. In CE 1079 they are recorded farther south in the valley of the Shkëmbajnë River. The Shkëmbajnë, a seasonal stream that lies near the old Via Egnatia, is approximately the boundary of the primary dialect division for Albanian, Toskeg. The characteristics of Toskeg and the treatment of the native in loan words from other languages are evidence that the dialectal split preceded the Slavic migration to the Balkans, which means that in that period Albanians were occupying nearly the same area around the Shkëmbajnë River, which straddled the Giricek line. References to the existence of Albanian as a distinct language survive from the 14th century, but they fail to cite specific words. The oldest surviving documents written in Albanian are the Formulary page Zimit, Unte Passant, Premoniti Atit Birititis Pert at Sinit, recorded by Palengieli, Bishop of Durrës in 1462 in the Geg dialect, and some New Testament verses from that period. The oldest known Albanian printed book, Mesheri, or Missal, was written in 1555 by Gjon Buzuku, a Roman Catholic cleric. In 1635, Frank Badi wrote the first Latin Albanian dictionary. The first Albanian school is believed to have been opened by Franciscans in 1638 in P.D. Haine. One of the earliest dictionaries of Albanian language was written in 1693, Italian language manuscript authored by Montenegrin sea captain Julij Balovic Pratike Shrivaneski, which includes a multilingual dictionary of hundreds of the most often used words in the everyday's life on Italian, Slavo-Illyrico, Greek, Albanian and Turkish language. Classification. Albanian was demonstrated to be an Indo-European language in 1854 by the philologist Franz Bopp. The Albanian language constitutes its own branch of the Indo-European language family. Albanian was formerly compared by some Indo-Europeanists with Balto-Slavic and Germanic, both of which share a number of isoglosses with Albanian. Moreover, Albanian has undergone a vowel shift in which stress, long O, has fallen to A, much like in the former and opposite the latter. Likewise, Albanian has taken the old relative just and innovatively used it exclusively to qualify adjectives, much in the way Balto-Slavic has used this word to provide the definite ending of adjectives. Other linguists link Albanian with Greek and Armenian, while placing Germanic and Balto-Slavic in another branch of Indo-European. Knackler, Ringer, and Warnow argued that Albanian can be placed at a variety of points within the Indo-European tree with equally good fit. Determining its correct placement is hampered by the loss of much of its former diagnostic and flexional morphology and vocabulary. Origin Albanian is often seen as the descendant of Illyrian, although this hypothesis has been challenged by some linguists, who maintain that it derives from Dacian or Thracian. Albanian, according to the central hypothesis of a project undertaken by the Austrian Science Fund FWF, Old Albanian had a significant influence on the development of many Balkan languages. Intensive research now aims to confirm this theory. This little-known language is being researched using all available texts before a comparison with other Balkan languages is carried out. The outcome of this work will include the compilation of a lexicon providing an overview of all Old Albanian verbs. Proto-IE features the demonstrative pronoun ko as ancestral to Albanian Kentucky, KJO and English he. Albanian is compared to other Indo-European languages below, but note that Albanian has exhibited some notable instances of semantic drift. Albanian Pi phonological correspondences. Phonologically, Albanian is not so conservative. Like many IE stocks, it has merged the two series of voiced stops. In addition, the voiced stops tend to disappear in between vowels. There is almost complete loss of final syllables and very widespread loss of other unstressed syllables. Pi *O appears as A, while *E and *K become O, and Pi *O appears as E. The palatals, velars, and labiovelars all remain distinct before front vowels, a conservation found otherwise in Luvian and related Anatolian languages. Thus by *K, and *K become THQ, and S, respectively. Another remarkable retention is the preservation of initial *H4 as alb, H, *AB between vowels or after R, before U or I, before sonorant, archaic relic, AB syllable initial and followed by sibilant, initial, between vowels, between vowels and after U, I, R, K, cluster SD, cluster SK, cluster SP, cluster saint, dissimilation with following vowel, before I, E, A, before back vowels, after front vowels, after all other vowels. Dialects. Albanian is divided into two major dialects, Geg-Tosk, and a transitional dialect zone between them. The Shkumbine River is roughly the dividing line, with Geg spoken north of the Shkumbine and Tosk south of it. There are also other dialects like Arboreshta and Arvanitika, which are mixtures between Geg and Tosk with some archaic features of Albanian. They are spoken in some areas of Italy and Greece.